Hey, everybody, Barry Kleiman. Today marks, I'm not sure which number of LinkedIn's 26 most asked interview questions this one is. I think we're into the 20s. And the question today is tell me about a time that you disagreed with someone. I'll say this: the calendar date today is October 31st, 2022. What that means here in Northern California is that it is opening day of high school basketball practice in our part of the state. And if you want to talk about a time when people are going to wind up disagreeing on a bunch of stuff, come out to the high school. Come out and sit in on a coaches meeting. I'm not the head coach this year. I'm gladly not the head coach this year. I'm happy to be helping out. And whenever you get a bunch of coaches in a room together talking about a game that they're all passionate about, you will get disagreements on whatever transition defense, how to guard a ball screen, how to transition in offense, what's a good shot and bad shot, blah blah blah. I bring it up because first of all, I'm excited. I'm going to be heading out to practice in just a little bit. I haven't been in a high school gym in a couple of years because of COVID. So I'm excited to do that, but it's also anecdotal to this question. And one of the things we talk about often, I've talked about this, many times in this series of interviews, is getting context. I don't know that the person asking me this question or you this question, any of us this question, wants to necessarily hear about high school basketball, but maybe they do, or maybe it's a gateway to another story, right? Or another part of your life, or opens a door about yourself to another part of your life that the person on the other side of the desk wouldn't know. Maybe they don't care. Uh, this is why, as you'll see in many of the other interviews, I talk about getting context. Disagreements happen all the time. Human nature is human nature is human nature. We're not going to agree on much. And of course, in today's political climate, we're really not agreeing on a bunch of things. But you got to find a way through it, right? You got to find a way to get some common ground if, in fact, you want to work together. Otherwise, you're just going to polarize, right? And certainly in an interview, most interviews, as I've said, don't work out. But if there is one that you'd like to work out, you don't want to polarize, but you don't want to lie to make it work out. So if you get some context, and again, this goes back to so many of the fundamentals that I've talked about, the best interviews are conversations, not interrogations. If you get some context and you ask for some context, or you provide a story that maybe has no context to, pardon me, the one that the interviewer had in mind, you are opening a conversation. And maybe it comes back, Barry, I could give two craps about high school basketball. Tell me about a time you disagree with somebody. Otherwise, that's great. You can say, look, my bad, it's just top of mind because of today, right? And today is that day. So now you're in dialogue. So using a story, giving an example, getting context, having dialogue, being authentic is a way to connect, right, with someone on the other side of the desk. And it's not just this battle for intellectual superiority, it's a conversation. I'll say this again as I've said it before. If the person on the other side of the desk doesn't want conversation in an interview, you can be pretty darn sure they're not going to want conversation in a work environment. Not always, but odds are high. I would always welcome a chance to have a conversation. Um, so you get into this ethos, right? This operating system of what successful interviewing is all about. This conversation, this authenticity, this connectivity. So this question is one more time another example of it. Pardon me. Get context. Make sure you know what the interviewer is looking for. Again, the context of it. Provide a story or two, or some sort of anecdotal tale to answer the question in more than a fact. Yesterday, I had disagreement. Okay, kind of boring. Um, Coach's story. whatever it is, right? If you allow yourself the chance to be you, as opposed to making some character up along the way, that really, pardon me for my cough, is really mostly not you. It's somebody sitting in this interview just wishing and praying and hoping that they like you and you're not even being you. I think you're playing a foolish game. So you've heard me talk about this many, many times before. This conversation or this overview of authenticity and conversations, not interrogations, and context and being honest and connecting. I'll say it forever. So in this case, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Please, as always, feel free to write to me. My email address will be in the comments below. And I hope you're having a great day. And I hope these are adding some value. I got a sweet outreach on Facebook the other day from a gentleman I know, ironically, who happens to be a coach. And he said, "Gee, I wish I would have saw these before I interviewed for my last head coaching job." I think you'll find value in them if you adapt them to who you are and yourself. And anyway, that's why I'm trying to do them. So stay safe, everybody. I hope this helps. Have a great day.